In this video, I'll tell you why you should stop worrying that you'll pee your pants like your mom after having your baby. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel and click the bell button below so you don't miss any of my pelvic floor tips for an empowering birth and postpartum recovery. If you're pregnant with your first baby, like myself, you may have heard from your mom that her bladder has never been the same since having kids. Maybe it's always been a running gag in your family that your mom crosses her legs every time she sneezes, or that she cannot run or jump without peeing her pants. Or maybe it isn't your mom, but someone else in your family or in your circle of friends. Now it got you all worried that it's going to be your story too, and I'm telling you right now why it's the wrong assumption to make. Reason number one is your mom did not have the chance to get the pelvic health education that you now have access to. So unfortunately, our poor mothers did not have access to the knowledge that we now have to prevent pelvic floor injuries in the birthing process. No one told them how to push their baby properly to avoid injuries. They were encouraged to push their baby on their back, which is the least efficient position to push a baby in. And last but not least, they had no support or guidance whatsoever about how to properly recover from birth, whether it is pelvic floor and core exercises, postpartum do's and don'ts, and how to progressively return to their activities without injuring themselves. So they were basically left to themselves and had to figure it out, which is so sad. Reason number two, your mom probably didn't have access to maternity leave to properly recover. Speaking for myself in Canada, we now have much more support to take time off for a few months after giving birth. You know, most people have like a year to a year and a half, and there's also paternity leave for the partners to help us at home while we are recovering. Our mothers, on the other hand, had to return to work a few weeks after birth when their body was still recovering and needing rest and care. Also, because paternity leave was not a thing, they had barely any support at home to help them out unless they had family members like their own mothers to help. And I just want to acknowledge that this is still the reality in many countries, and I feel very privileged to be in Canada for this reason. So what happened is our moms basically carried their pelvic floor injuries from the moment they gave birth, and for some of them, it just got part of their life and it got worse and worse over time. Reason number three, your mom was dismissed by her doctor. So if your mom had the courage to bring up her bladder control issues to her doctor, she was likely dismissed and was told to put a pad on and that it was normal to leak a little bit of urine after having kids. That was the most standard response at the time, and the only option that was available to them really was to have bladder surgery later on. Now that pelvic health physiotherapy has developed and doctors are becoming more and more aware of this new alternative, moms are more likely to be referred to the right resources when they voice their pelvic health concerns. That being said, it's still a work in progress, and not all doctors are aware of pelvic health physiotherapy and the different symptoms it can help with. And also, we need to acknowledge that pelvic health physiotherapy is not available in all countries, right? There might be some countries where it's available and others where it's still developing. And so, it's still work in progress, like I said, but there is hope that it's becoming better. So that's why I'm saying leaking urine every time you sneeze or jump does not, definitely not, need to be your reality after delivering your baby. You simply need the right education and tools to make your birth experience as smooth as possible so you can avoid injuries, and then get proper guidance to help you recover after. And you know what? This is exactly what my signature program for newly pregnant mamas is about, providing you all the education and knowledge that you need to properly prepare your pelvic floor for birth, avoid injuries, and recover after. So if your goals are to experience an empowering first birth and a full postpartum recovery, your first step is to sign up for my free masterclass in the description below to learn more about my approach and how to apply for my program. My goal ultimately is that you are not like your mom and that you don't come to me years after your birth saying, I wish I had known, right? Because this education is there right now and it's at your fingertips and it's accessible to you if you want it. So I hope this video gives you hope about what your recovery will look like and that you'll take a proactive step toward your pelvic health by signing up for my masterclass in the description below. Thanks for watching.